The number one rule for cold approaching when you're nervous is to detach from the outcome and play the numbers game. I grew up as a shy introvert, and this is what allowed me to get out of my head and confidently cold approach thousands of girls with ease. I got brutally rejected on the first cold approach I ever did, and the sting was so bad that it took me months to recover. So at 19, I left my hometown and I went to a town where I knew absolutely no one across the country. I went to a mall to try and meet girls because it was the only place I can think of. And I actually went in pretty confident. I didn't ever cold approach before, so I had no idea what it was gonna be like. I wasn't that good with girls, but for some reason I had a pretty good feeling about it. So as soon as I saw two girls, I started walking over to them. I did a little wave and was like, "What's up?" And they completely ignored me and kept walking, and I was absolutely devastated. I went to the bathroom, I called my friend, and I was like, "Bro, this went bad. This is terrible. I'm never doing this again." And I went home after that, and I didn't do another cold approach or socialize for months after that. I just felt so bad inside. The sting was terrible. I just couldn't get over the fact that I just got so badly rejected and someone just completely ignored me. Like my entire human existence was ignored, hit so badly that I just didn't want to do another one for months. But if you follow the 4 parts to this rule, you can feel successful even through rejection. So this past weekend, I went out with my boys, and as soon as I saw a girl that I wanted to talk to, I went up to her, introduced myself, asked for her name, told her my name, and then right after that, she went back, turned her body on me, and went back to talking to her friends. It was the first approach of the night, and I got rejected right off the bat. But I went unfazed, continuing to talk to more girls, having better and better conversations, winging my boys off to girls. And by the end of the night, my friend and I met 2 girls that we really liked. We hung out with them for a little bit, and then we came back to my place and had some pizza after the club. And it was a fun, good night overall. And I didn't let that first rejection ruin the night. I just kept going on because I know rejections are just part of the process, and you just gotta keep going. You can't let one singular rejection throw you off course. So if you wanna have success in the long run, you need to accept this brutal truth. I can't think of many nights where everything went perfect. Like I went to the club, the first girl I talked to was the girl I slept with, and we left there after 10 minutes. That is a fairy tale. That doesn't happen. Most of the nights when I go out, even in Sweden where the girls are, everyone's always saying the girls are so nice, it's so easy. I get rejected so many times before I get that success. So it happens no matter where you are in the world, anytime, no matter what you look like, what things you have going for you. At the times when I've had the most money or the least money, you're always gonna face rejection. It's a part of life. There's gonna be a girl who has a bad day, who's arguing with her friends, who has a boyfriend, is in a situationship. She just doesn't like you, if we're just being honest. You just don't meet her criteria. You're not her type. The list goes on for millions of different reasons, and you can't let any one single one of those throw you off course. You just need to accept that not everything's gonna work out perfectly. Not everyone needs to like you. That's a part of life. And you gotta keep going and finding the people who do like you. And if you stick to this, like that happened in the story before, you will find plenty of girls who are very open, receptive, who think you're attractive, who think you're fun, who fall under your spell of charisma, and they'll like you. And it's very simple, but you just gotta keep pushing through. And if you can't accept rejection, you're not gonna succeed in many things in life. Girls is just one of many things that you're gonna be rejected in. If you wanna be an entrepreneur, you're gonna face tons of rejection. If you wanna be a YouTuber, tons of your videos are gonna flop. If you wanna go into sales, you have to take tons of sales calls. You're gonna get cursed out thousands of times until you get those sales. It happens no matter where you are, and you just need to accept that girls is just another area of life that you need to face rejection in if you want to have success. This is something that I see a lot of people doing that is holding them back massively. See, I used to think that you needed to have the perfect body, you needed to be rich, you needed to be 6 foot, a male model. The list goes on in order to attract girls. But really, when I had just less than $1,000 in my account, and I went to Sweden after having read 3 books on charisma and communication as a whole, I had the most success that I ever had. I was at an all-time low with my money. My style was pretty shit. I have a similar body to I have now and how I had when I also got that brutal rejection right off the bat that I told you in that first story. And that was it. I just read 3 books on communication. I just decided that I was gonna put myself out there. And I had the most success ever. I went to Sweden after building my confidence up a little bit, doing some disciplined acts on a daily basis, reading, meditating, journaling, just ice baths, things like that to build my internal confidence. I just went out there and introduced myself to girls, having basic conversations, and in 5 weeks, I absolutely cleaned up. And like I said, my style was really shit. I was wearing skinny jeans when that is very socially frowned on there. I wore plaid pants, like the checkered, kind of like chino pants, and they thought I was wearing pajama pants, but still, I did well because I just went out, introduced myself to people, was a fun, nice guy, and had a good time overall. See, everyone thinks that you need to have all these specific things, but this is the biggest thing that's gonna hold you back. The perfect time to start is now. It's not when you have acquired every single thing, because you're making it so much more difficult for yourself, thinking that you need specific, tangible things in order to have success, when really you just need to be yourself, you need to learn some communication, and you need to just be the best version of yourself as a whole, and you will be fine. I've had so much success throughout the journey of acquiring all the knowledge, the skills, and leveling up in my life that I know not one single thing is the reason for my success. That me, if you stripped everything away, just gave me a pair of shorts and threw me out there, I would be able to talk to girls and have a perfectly, and I would build myself back up with girls perfectly fine. I wouldn't have any difficulty at all in just a pair of shorts, because I don't need, the watch or the clothes or the style or any luxury items. Me, myself, my communication, my knowledge is more than enough. And this was all built through time, just going out there, like I said, facing the rejections, learning from my mistakes, improving. And that's all that it's come down to for me. So just getting out there and taking imperfect action in order to get the desired result. And here's how you can actually make rejection into a positive thing. So this past summer in Sweden, I went to a new city, and I figured out over time that if I had about 3 to 5 quality conversations, meaning I saw that the girl liked me, she was asking questions back, we had an overall good conversation, there was solid eye contact, she's smiling, receptive body language, that I would pretty much hook up that night. So I just started to play a game where I would keep talking to girls until I had 3 to 5 quality conversations, and usually by that point, I kind of secured a girl for the night. It was that simple. So I knew that every single rejection was getting me one step closer to that quality conversation and then to getting a girl for that night. And that's just how I played it. I just understood that every time I talk to a girl, it's inevitable that I'm gonna get closer to my desired result. So I felt good. I was like, okay, one closer, one closer, one closer. Okay, boom, we won. And that's how it went all the time. And see, this is something I took from sales. Before, about 2 years ago, I worked a sales job in final expense life insurance. It is a terrible gig. I would not recommend it for anyone. And I would get cursed out all the time. The close rate was extremely low. But the thing is, there's pretty much like a minimum close rate at a company. So let's say it's like 5%. I think that's what it was. That means that if you take 100 calls, you're pretty much gonna close 5 of them, and you're gonna make some money in the process. But you're gonna have to take 95 shitty calls where you either get cursed out right off the bat, you go a little bit and the person doesn't want to buy it, and all the bullshit that comes along with it. But out of those 100, you do get your 5. And I understood this concept, so I just applied that to girls and dating, and it worked exactly the same. You just can't let the rejections be personal, because in sales, a lot of people have an easier time getting rejected when it's not themselves on the line, when it's some other product like life insurance. Like, who cares if someone doesn't want to buy life insurance besides the fact that you don't get paid, right? So when you get rejected by a girl, it's usually so much more personal, and this is why guys can't accept it. But if you can just let go of that, if you can just play the numbers game, have fun with it, understand that every rejection is getting you one step closer to success, you will be so much better off. And in the process, you're actually gonna learn a lot, because if you're getting rejected, you're doing something wrong. Girls are pretty much a mirror for how successful you are as a whole, between your physical appearance, your communication, your style. All those things combined will be how girls reflect back to you. They're gonna either be very receptive or they're not. If you think of like the perfect, Adonis, Chad guy, he's probably gonna have way more successful interactions than the guy who is 300 pounds, has a terrible haircut, a funky looking beard that has mustard in it, a stains on his shirt, and some weird graphic design of fucking Mickey Mouse. He's not gonna get success with girls. So girls are very much a mirror reflection. So if you're getting a lot of rejections, it means that in one or more areas, you might be doing something wrong. And if you want my help with actually figuring out what it is you're doing wrong, that's something I do with my coaching clients. where we have them, track what is going on in these interactions. Where do things usually go bad? Is it right off the bat? Is it halfway through the conversation? And then we can actually improve on these things. This is something I did myself, and I now help my coaching clients with. So if you want my help with that, I do help guys and get the girls of their dreams. So if you want my help in this journey, then you can always book a call with me down below. And lastly, this is how you never have cold approach anxiety ever again. See, my entire life, I always hated pickup lines. In middle school, this one kid told me this one where he was like, how much does it take to break the ice? And he was like a polar bear or some shit. And it was so cheesy and corny and cringy. And I was like, I'm never using those when I talk to girls. And every time I heard a pickup line, it just pushed me further and further away. I never wanted to use them, but that also left me in a situation where I was like, well, what is the best thing to say to girls when I go up and talk to them? I honestly didn't know for most of my life. And then I watched the movie Spread with Ashton Kutcher, where he's like this playboy, and right off the bat, he goes up to this girl and he asks her name, and then there's kind of like a voiceover, and he's like, this is the only pickup line. And I was like, I like that. Because it's not cheesy, it's not weird, it's not anything. It's just you're trying to get to know this person, asking them a simple question about themselves, which also there's some, psychological things, which is their favorite thing. So like knowing someone's name, if you can say someone's name, that's their favorite word in the language that they speak, is their name. So it's very powerful, and people are programmed since birth to answer questions, especially something so simple like that. It gives you a very easy in. So I liked it and I ran with it. And now this has become my golden opener after talking to thousands of girls, and it works so, so well. So even from that first story, or the second story where the first approach of the night, I got completely rejected, but she still told me her name. And then I told her my name, and then it went bad, right? So what I'll do now is I'll say, excuse me, and get the person's attention. And then I'll ask, what's their name? And then they'll usually ask my name, I tell them my name, and then I go into two basic questions. I ask them, where are they from, and if they're in school or if they work. And then I leave it there, and I kind of see their level of interest throughout the conversation. Like from the example above, it's perfect. If right after the name, she turns away, starts talking back with her friends, she's not interested. You're never gonna win a girl over who is not interested in you. You have so much better chances just going and talking to someone else. So if that happens, and you leave it there, and if they're, really excited to talk to you, they're answering questions, asking them back, reciprocating, then you got a good conversation on your hands, and you can keep it going with open-ended questions from either one of those two questions that you ask. So like, where are you from? You can ask a bunch of things about that. Like, how do you like this city? Have you lived here your whole life? There's a million things. And then work or school, you can, be like, what are you studying? How do you like that job? Once again, a bunch of things you can ask. And then you just keep the conversation going from there. And it's super simple. It's very low pressure. And if this girl likes you, she's just going to appreciate that you're actually trying to get to know her. And you're not trying too hard. You're not pedestalizing her. You're not making too much of this conversation. You're just, being a normal person. And if she likes you, you're gonna pick up on that, and it's gonna be, you can kind of make things more flirtatious, and there's so many ways that you can take it. But it all starts with that basic conversation. Then you don't really have to worry about approach anxiety, because you know what you're gonna say. I would still be nervous if you told me every new girl I had to talk to, thousands, I had to think of something new to say every time. I'd be there overthinking it. Even now, after talking to thousands, what the fuck am I gonna say, 1,000 new things? No, just stick with the same basic opener. It's, what's your name? It's so simple. You ask some simple questions, and if they like you, they like you. They don't, they don't. And you leave it there. And this is what's allowed me to approach thousands of girls. This is the exact mindset that I've developed over the years. It's allowed me to have all this success. So I hope you got some value out of this video. And if you did, make sure to subscribe to this channel. On here, I'll be teaching you how to become attractive to girls and get the girl of your dreams. I also do help guys with coaching, helping them achieve exactly that. So if that sounds of interest, the link for that's going to be in the description where you can book a call. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you guys in the next video.